Hey guys, it's John with Mega Magic Productions here.
Joni Brosis, also.
Do I get to do my own introduction?
Oh yeah,
Guys?
sorry.
Thank you. And I'm Manu Bennett. Well, just excuse me. We've sorted him out now. Yeah.
Wow, what's your experience like so far? I know this is the second time you've been
Yeah,
here?
well, you know, I mean, Dan Farr, who organised this, came to me a year ago and he said, I'm going to hold this first-time show. And, you know, a lot of people didn't really believe that he could pull off a big show because, you know, usually first conventions get about 10 to 20,000 people. But, you know, he was a very, very sincere guy and I kind of trusted that he was going to do a good job. So I came out to Salt Lake City and it was amazing. He pulled 70, 80,000 people and the fire warden had to come across here and shut the place at one stage because there were so many people in here. And some silly employee went out there and said, nobody else is allowed in. And they had like almost a riot. They had almost a riot on the streets.
We've got really good like nerds around here. We love it.
And you know, unlike some conventions that get crazy and out of hand, I don't know, there's a wholesomeness to Salt Lake City where people come here and they really sort of respect the convention.
What was your experience like on Arrow? When you got the call saying you got the part, like what was going through your head?
Well, you know what, I'd actually been over in Kuwait for Spartacus visiting the US troops and
That's so awesome of you. I love that.
Well, there were special forces guys that I was hanging out with over there and I just got called in for this Arrow audition and I was on my way to the airport and I went in there and I did it, but in the audition scene I had to grab the reader in a chokehold. And these special forces guys from Kuwait had showed me this chokehold. So I used it in the audition and I actually choked out the reader.
Oh no!
Oh,
And
wow.
not a word of a lie, in my audition that got me the role of Deathstroke or Slade Wilson, the special forces operative, I used the special forces chokehold to choke out the reader.
Awesome.
Right? But instead of me getting sort of thrown in jail, the producers said,
Thank goodness.
we loved it.
You choked out our reader.
You owned it.
It was a bit of reality meets art, you know, and you know, it's not something I would advise anybody, but it worked like in a way that it was meant to work, and I got the role.
Right.
So it's been electric, and I've really enjoyed it.
And the show is pretty awesome too. If you haven't seen it, check it out.
Hey, you know that I auditioned for Tomb Raider 2. Listen to this for a story, right? So here I am in London, auditioning for Tomb Raider 2. And I met Angelina Jolie, and I had this backpack that went really tight around my arms here, right?
Like that one?
And she loved it because it helped define your body, you know. And I went with her up to the wardrobe department, and she put on my backpack. She put it on, and they took photos of her. And I swear to you, that's the reason why this is on
Oh, wow.
the Lara Croft outfit. It was my backpack.
Are there any projects that you're working on in the future that you want to plug?
I just finished filming The Hobbit, Battle of the Five Armies. It's epic. I know that the fight between Thorin and Azog it's visually. I'd like to see how they're going to complete it because of course I did it all in motion capture, but knowing the environment and knowing some of the special effects that's going to be involved in this big penultimate fight scene. Very excited to see where it goes.
Kind of excited that you're telling us a little bit about it.
Right. How is that different from actual like acting? I know there's like, you know, because it's not necessarily you, but it is you. It's just your movements and your voice and everything, you know. How's that different?
It happens like this. With motion capture, you have to be, basically your body is being read by a computer via dots that are put all over your body where you've got joints. So if you're going to move your hand, there's 5 little dots that the computer can read that go down your fingers that show how your fingers move. Then there's a dot on your wrist and a dot on your elbow and a dot on your shoulder. And basically all those dots go into a computer grid and then the artists paint Azog over the top. Now I wear a helmet that's got like a GoPro camera that looks into my face and they paint dots all over my face. If Azog is pulling that face, that's me basically in the studio going, ah! But, you know, the dots go into the computer, they paint over it, but the eyes are still something as well that get registered and they use that off the reference of the performance to give all the eye definition. You know, one thing Peter Jackson said to me, he said that, you know, it was my eyes that helped him really get some of the strength of Azog. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Manu. I appreciate it.
It's a pleasure, brother. Yeah, pleasure. Lara.
Do you mind?